John DeLillo says, drawing a firm line of the sand here. The vice president of the United States should not know about fake Twitch streamer drama. Exactly. And I agree with that. We're obviously going to watch this real quick. JD Vance went on a podcast that has no views whatsoever. And on the fucking podcast, he has some choice words. He brought up the Kayagate, Dogtober 7, Shocktober 7 controversy on Pod Force One. I don't even know who the fuck this podcast is. And the podcast setup is so silly that it unironically feels like it was it just felt like it was AI when I first saw it. But let's take a look at what he had to say.
He has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger and point, he will run to that place and lay down.
You don't have to zap him.
No.
Hasan.
Not like Hasan Biker. No. No electrocution of dogs here.
How disgusting is that? What does that tell you about a person?
Well, I think it tells you that they're not, that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering to an innocent animal, you're probably the kind of person who doesn't worry about suffering in people as well.
Yeah.
And that's been my experience. If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. So
JD Vance has done spot training for his own dog. So he knows that it is not an abusive practice. And yet he is still leaning into this fucking idea that I'm like abusing my dog, which is crazy because, hello, Kristi Noem, the secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, shot her puppy point blank, ISIS execution style, and then threw the puppy's body in a goddamn landfill in front of construction workers. And the only reason why we know about it is because she wrote about it in her book. What is happening? It is so transparent that these people not only do not give a shit about animal welfare, they don't give a shit about human welfare either. Because remember, this is the vice president we're talking about. The vice president of the United States is talking about Reddit, Twitter drama while we're at the precipice of 40 million American citizens losing their SNAP benefits, as in 40 million Americans are about to starve. Okay? 40 million Americans are about to starve in 2 days because the administration does not want to use the existing $6 billion that they have in their contingency funds to keep giving money to people. They are going to go to food banks, which will not be able to make up for the lack of SNAP benefits that they get. These are some of the most underserved people in the country. Many of them work. Many of them, even larger numbers, can't not work. As a matter of fact, they have dependents. They have children with WIC. And JD Vance is over here, as the government is fucking shut down, talking about this shit. It blows my mind, dude. It blows my mind. I cannot believe that this is where we're at. Department of Homeland Security Secretary, once again, literally killed her puppy. Point blank executed her puppy, dumped his body in the landfill. None of these people care about animal welfare. The administration is shutting off 40 million people's SNAP benefits because they simply don't want to fund it. They simply want to make people suffer. Okay? They don't even care about human welfare. And this is what he's talking about. What will it take for Americans? What will it take for Americans to realize that this is clearly another cycle of distraction? These people do not care about you. They do not care about their own voters. Because remember, the reason why the government is shut down to begin with is because the Democrats are not funding the CR because they want to make sure that the Republicans come back to the table. This is the only point of leverage that the Democrats have. They want the Republicans to come back to the table and fund the ACA subsidies so that their own voters, Republican voters in rural ass places, still get some semblance of subsidies when they're paying for their health care. Okay? That is the argument here. Democrats want to fund health care, and Republicans are dangling the starvation of 40 million Americans in an effort not to fund health care. What is going on? This is where we're at. This is where we're at. It's incredible.
It's one of the ways we really sort of test people is if Atlas responds well to them, if they like Atlas, we know.
And by the way, the dumbest people on the planet still in this chat will turn around and say, bro is deflecting. Brother, there is no deflection. She's right there, okay? You're fucking stupid. I can't entertain your hallucinations, but beyond the hallucinations that you're engaging in, please recognize that your parents, your grandparents that rely on SNAP subsidies are going to fucking starve, okay? Wake up! Like, that's what I mean. That's what's so crazy about this. Like, first of all, it's not even a deflection. You're talking about a fucking vice president that also has spot trained with the place command their own dog. So he knows what that is. He knows that that's not an abusive practice at all. Many people don't. Okay, many people don't understand it. The very fact that JD Vance knows what that is, knows his own Department of Homeland Security secretary shot and killed her own puppy, means that they don't give a fuck about any of this shit. Or he's just straight up saying, yeah, we want a bad person, a sociopath. Hasan, please don't go with the ticket saying it's not abusive. You're going to get clipped, please. I mean, what can I say? What he is, the vice president is comparing me to a serial killer here in this clip, even though his own dog has also gotten spot training as well, like knows the place command as well.
Yeah, they're good people, but you can tell if somebody's really mean to animals. It's like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Yeah.
Like every serial killer ever has actually been really bad to animals. That's sort of how they.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even disagree with that take, except I'm not really bad to animals. I love animals. I care about animal welfare a lot more than fucking JD Vance does. In any case, that's where we're at. This is the New York Post's podcast, apparently. I didn't even know. But JD Vance saying that while his own DHS secretary, the same podcast interview, spoke with Kristi Noem about her dog, by the way, bland segment overall, but she has spoken to Kristi Noem. Putting a puppy down, as JD Vance talks about judging your character based on animal treatment. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Let's take a look.
And the
yeah,
dog,
you learn lessons from it.
The dog was a danger, or you felt that it was going to be a dangerous dog. And
the dog was actively killing animals for fun. Had been massacring, chickens, and then had tried to bite me and attack me. And from working all the time with animals like that, when and in our state and in states and across the country too, that is something that happens from time to time, and keeping children and people safe is incredibly important. When at that time we had little kiddos around every single day, in a hunting lodge we were operating, and people that I knew that I needed to take responsibility for the situation.
Yeah, so I mean that's something I think farmers understand. People on the land understand.
That's crazy. That is crazy. It's just like, it's all politics, man. It's all politics. That's what it is. That's what it is. And it's so funny that these motherfuckers will be like, instead of, these motherfuckers will still be like, well, actually, you're just deflecting away. Like, you're just deflecting. It's like, this is the best taken care of dog on the fucking planet. Okay? Kaya lives a better life than 99% of the people that are screaming about how I'm abusing my dog because they saw like 10 clips in sequence. And obviously, the broader point here is that we always assume that video is a format where what you see is what you get, and it is very easy to, or it's not so easy to manipulate people as opposed to text where you can take something out of context or make something utterly devoid of context. But in fact, video can also play a formative role in that. Okay? Video is also just as malleable, especially in the format that I exist in, where I'm literally live 24/7. That's it. It's so funny because, like, she gets vet checks with regular frequency, groomed with regular frequency, like an incredible amount of activity, socializing, all of that. Like, I'm so on it. I'm so fucking on it. You're just keeping it alive at this point by putting attention to it. If people say you're mistreating, it's either a form of bad faith or you're not going to change their mind anyway. I know. Well, what do you mean? I'm not keeping it alive. The fucking vice president just talked about it.